In this module, you will learn about reasons for success and failure of a business plan, difference between feasibility study and business plan. Let us understand the reasons for success and failure of a business plan. Many a times, companies fail to deliver on their promises and they state reason for their failure as wrong strategy. The reason for the wrong strategy is that the companies would not have spent enough time and energy in doing their groundwork. Companies that spend time and energy to develop a strategic business plan can have a strong understanding about their markets, competitions, and customers as compared with the ones who fail to do so. However, why do many of these plans fail? Success of any company does not depend on how excellent its business plan is, but it all depends on how this business plan is executed. Generally, the things that were planned to execute just are not executed. Therefore, the failure to execute a plan, not the plan itself, is the most common problem for the underperformance of the strategic plan. As a result, business planning is affected, creating a frustration within the organization as the success of a plan is defined by its results of the execution. The key to a successful plan execution is alignment. There should be a proper link between the strategy, people, and all the work processes. For instance, the strategic plan developed should be understood by all the people involved in the organization. Right people should be aligned to the right jobs for the maximum work performance. Action plans should exist and must be implemented and reviewed whenever needed. Communication between departments plays a very important role in success of the business. If there is lack of communication between the departments, each one of them is going to understand the objectives of company's goals differently, and this will lead to frustration and cynicism within an organization. The priority levels for different departments such as sales, manufacturing, and finance will differ. A lot of hard work and diligent communication is required to bring the plan into action. To achieve maximum work performance, action plans must be developed, implemented, and reviewed at every phase. As execution of the business plan is the key to success, single process is not sufficient to bring the plan into execution. It requires some basic process and fundamentals to be followed. Formulate the strategy. Evaluate the human resource. Identify key initiatives and broad actions. Plan the budget. Communicate well. Establish a review process. Step 1. Formulate the strategy. After the establishment of mission, vision, and strategy of the organization, the strategy should be formulated for its core competencies and specific quantifiable goals. Step 2. Evaluate the human resource. Once the goal and strategy is established, organization needs to be estimated. Few of the areas that need evaluation are allocation of the right job to the right people with the required competencies, appropriate headcount in various departments, consideration to reallocate the human resources. Step 3. Identify key initiatives and broad actions. The transitional issues or the gaps must be identified as to where are you today and where you plan to be in future. On the basis of this, the initiatives should be pushed in all the functional departments of the organization. Employees should be encouraged to take up initiatives to accomplish his or her aspect of the plan. Step 4. Plan the budget. Raise the required capital to support the plan. An entrepreneur may have to do this multiple times over a period of time to achieve the right combination of financial stability, strategy, and tactics. Step 5. Communicate well. Communicate effectively to all the stakeholders and employees. This ensures that everyone in the organization are on the same page and there is no communication gap. Introduce rewards and recognition to motivate the stakeholders and employees towards the goal. This will improve productivity levels. Some decision filters need to be created to guide the organization through a thought process for the times when it struggles with the strategy plan. Step 6. Establish a review process. Regular review process should be established to analyze the dynamic behavior of the markets, customers, competitors, government regulations, and economy. The priorities as well as goals may change depending on these behaviors. If required, necessary goals and plans of implementation should be altered according to current market strategies. Difference between feasibility study and business plan. Meaning, feasibility study is conducted before the business plan is prepared. Only after determining that the business is feasible, the business plan is prepared. The business plan follows the feasibility study and the identification of the business opportunity. Objective. Starting a business requires the investment of time, money, hard work, and other available resources. Therefore, the purpose of the feasibility study is to know whether the investment would yield worthy returns or not. It involves analysis, calculations, and estimates. Business plan comprises of the specific strategies and tactics that need to be followed to achieve the business goal. Linkage. A feasibility study can be transformed into a business plan. A business plan can be easily derived from the feasibility study. Benefit. The feasibility study can be used to determine whether a business idea is an economically viable opportunity or not. On the other hand, business plan helps to decide the business direction for the growth and sustainability of the business. In this module, you have learned success of any company does not depend on how excellent its business plan is, but it all depends on how this business plan is executed. The key to a successful plan execution is alignment. There should be a proper link between the strategy, people, and all the work processes. Communication between departments plays a very important role in success of the business. If there is lack of communication between the departments, then each one of them is going to understand the objectives of company's goals differently, and this will lead to frustration and cynicism within an organization. A lot of hard work and diligent communication is required to bring the plan into action. As execution of the business plan is the key to success, single process is not sufficient to bring the plan into execution. It requires some basic process and fundamentals to be followed. Step 1. Formulate the strategy. Step 2. Evaluate the human resource. Step 3. Identify key initiatives and broad actions. Step 4. Plan the budget. Step 5. Communicate well. Step 6. Establish a review process.